Hello everybody, and welcome to our volcano experiment. All right, notice I have nothing on the table yet, but we're going to get into all the supplies that you need for this, and we're going to start our first few steps into making our volcano. So this is going to be awesome. This looks a lot different than it normally would. We normally would be doing it in class, in the classroom, but right now, I got my kitchen table, okay? So, just to let you know that as the process goes along, as we're making the volcano, it's not going to look pretty, okay? I had a lot of students last year who got a little discouraged because their volcano looked ugly in the middle of making the volcano. But afterwards, once we get all the paper mache on there, once we get it painted, everybody was super, super pleased with how it came out, okay? So just keep that in mind, is trust the process, and we're going to get through this together, okay? So if you look down at the bottom of the descriptions, you will see a supply list, and we're going to go over those supplies right now, okay? So first off, we have our cardboard, okay? So I have two pieces of cardboard right now. One is smaller, okay, for our 20-ounce bottle, if that's what you're using. I have a little bit bigger of a piece for our 2-liter bottle of soda, okay? The next thing you are going to need on supplies is our measuring cup, all right? And next we have our flour, all right? You won't need this much flour, it's just what I had in the house, okay? Put that off to the side. Since we are going to be making paper mache, I'm going to be using the microwave for this, so I have my plastic microwave bowl container that I will be using. Next thing on the supply list is our newspaper, okay? We will be needing a lot of newspaper. Hopefully you can find some maybe around the house, maybe grandma, aunt, uncle, they have some newspaper lying around, so you don't have to go out and buy it, but if you do, I just got this from Stewart's, okay? Next thing we were going to need is our scissors for cutting the newspaper. Next thing you will need is tape. I said masking tape or scotch tape. I couldn't find any masking tape, so we just got scotch tape. All right, we're going to be using a lot of this, so the more the merrier on the tape, just in case you run out. Also, we will need acrylic paint. This awesomely comes with a paintbrush inside. This was about $3 at Walmart. So I did pick up a couple just in case I ran out of paint. Next thing is our soda, okay? This is a 2-liter bottle and this is a 20-ounce bottle, okay? You don't need both of these. I just got both because, you know, if you want to use a smaller one, you can. If you want to use a bigger one, you can as well. And last but not least, to make this experiment explode or for the volcano to erupt, we will need Mentos, okay? I'm going to try not to eat a lot of these because I'm going to try to use more than not, okay? So maybe a couple or two, that's fine. So we're going to get started with step 1, okay? Step 1 requires our cardboard and maybe a pen or a pencil, okay? What we need to do, I'm just going to get all this stuff out of the way now. What we need to do is we need to put an X in the center of our boxes or our cardboard box or piece of cardboard, okay? Now, I already put an X on there, if you can't tell, with a pen or a pencil. This just tells me where my soda bottle is going to go. So I did do for both, okay? So that's our first step. Pretty easy. Already done. So once you have your X on the cardboard, you will now need to use your soda bottles, and you also need your tape. So I have my tape, my soda bottles. All right, and now I'm going to start with my 20-ounce bottle of soda, okay? I'm going to put this right on the X that I made, and I'm going to tape it on 4 sides of the soda bottle, okay? I'm going to tape on the 4 sides, just like north, south, east, and west would be fine. Okay. And the reason why we're doing this is just to make sure our soda bottle is secure, okay? Because when we start putting the newspaper around it, we just want to make sure everything's in its place so the bottle doesn't get knocked over, and then we just kind of have to start over again. So we don't want that. So 4 pieces of tape should do for our 20-ounce bottle, okay? I'm actually going to put this off to the side now. Make sure you don't tip it at all. It's still not as sturdy with the tape. But now we're going to be using our 2-liter bottle of soda. And I'm going to tape this, instead of 4 times, I'm probably going to tape it 8 times around, just to make sure it's secure. Okay. Make sure you're kind of being wise with your tape, all right? We are probably going to use a lot of tape. I just want to make sure you don't run out of supplies in the middle of it. Here we go. 4 times. And now I'm going to just put a few extra pieces of tape just to make sure. Okay, once again, please try not to tip it because it will fall over. It's pretty top heavy, unless you use a lot of tape to scare it down. But for right now, we're just going to be putting a few pieces around the base of it. All right, one more for extra measure. Okay, so now we have our bottles of soda already taped on here. Now we're going to go to our next step, step number 3. We're going to be taking our newspaper we have, okay? Taking our newspaper and we're going to be making paper balls out of it, all right? So a good way to do this is to open the newspaper up to the center fold, okay? And then I'm just going to take my scissors, and then I'm going to cut along that center fold to make 2 halves to the newspaper. Okay, this will make my job a little bit easier. All right, I'm gonna cut the center. Okay, now I have 2 parts to this newspaper, okay? Now, like the directions say down below, we're just gonna be rolling these into little newspaper balls, okay? What we're going to be doing with these newspaper balls is we are going to be putting them around the base of the soda bottle. Okay, so I'm just going to put it like there. I'm going to keep on going. Now you'll notice that the newspaper will kind of expand a little bit, which is fine. You can always go back and just re-squeeze it together. All right, there we go. Now, if you have old magazines, this could work as well. This would be totally fine. Newspaper, I feel, is just a little easier to manage, but magazines will work as well. Just make sure they're old and nobody's reading them, okay? All right, keep going. Now, I have created a circle around the entire base of our soda bottle, okay? Now, the newspaper did expand a little bit, which is fine, all right? Now, our next step, we have our first circle around the soda bottle, right? I need to use my tape now to kind of tape those into place, all right? This is where it's gonna become a little tricky, all right? So just be patient, okay? I'm gonna tape a piece of newspaper, maybe go every other one and tape that newspaper ball to the cardboard box. Right? I don't need to tape every single newspaper down because it will create like a little ring. All right, so I'm gonna go around to about every other one and just tape the newspaper down on the edge of the bottle. Okay. Okay. All right, so we have our first part of our ring done. All right. Next part is we're going to make another ring around with newspaper, okay? I'm going to keep going, all right? Don't mind me, feel free to keep on making your paper balls and putting them in a circle around your soda bottle. That's what I'm going to do. All right, so we have our 2 circles around. Once again, I'm going to tape these into place just to make sure they don't move on me. And then from here, once I tape all these around, I'm going to be adding towards the top of the soda bottle. Okay, so now we started with our base. You always need a good foundation before you put anything on top. So I'm going to go around and put the tape on the pieces of paper around the edges. You may need to put tape on every single newspaper ball you made just to keep them in place and keep it sturdy. Now, these are pretty secure, okay? It doesn't need to be Fort Knox. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take more newspaper, all right, and I'm going to go up towards the top of the cap, okay? So all I can really do, if I make these balls, they'll kind of rest on top of the already existing newspaper rings. You can find some little pockets. You can put your newspaper in there. You'll notice that if your newspaper does fall over onto the side and onto the cardboard, you can just tape it on. So no worries there. I'm gonna keep going. Now think of this. It's gonna need to be a cone. Okay, so we're gonna need to just make a cone going up towards the top of the cap, or towards the cap. And then if you have any spots that you're missing, like maybe the base, if you want to put more newspaper down on the base of the cardboard, you can totally do that. All right. I actually found a spot in the back where I'm going to need a tape on so it can hold the other newspaper that I'm putting on top of it. All right. Keep going. Like I said, it doesn't need to be perfect. Okay. And mine doesn't look that great right now, right? But I'm gonna keep going so I have an idea of what my outcome is gonna look like, right? And if you have seen the different examples of the different volcanoes people have made, I do have volcanoes in my classroom that a lot of you have seen, and they all came out pretty well. So I'm gonna keep going up and up and up. Notice we're getting a lot taller here. I'll put this right in the front. All right. Some of them may fall over, so it's okay if you want to put a piece of tape on there, like I said. Just got to get some more newspaper going. All right. Here we go. Now, while you're at home, I would try to find a place after we're done to put this, just to make sure nobody touches it, because this is still kind of, unsecured. So if you have a spot in your house where you can put this so nobody touches it, because we will be making another video, and I'll be showing that, like I said, on Tuesday, just so you can get this step done before we move on to the next step. All right. A couple more pieces that I want to put on here. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to stop to kind of where this line of the soda is, okay, in the bottle. All right, we don't need to go any higher than this. Just have a couple spots on the side I want to do. All right, looks fine. All right, now this is the kind of trickier part. I'm going to take my tape, and I'm going to be taping the newspaper kind of to the side of the bottle. So at my top newspaper that I put on there, I want to tape it to the side of the bottle, okay? Pieces may fall off, which is fine. Just put them right back. So here we go. I'm going to get all around here. I would probably tape every single piece that's touching the top of the bottle onto the side of the bottle. All right. I'm going to tape this piece. And this piece. All right, and just one more spot I want to get that I noticed in the back here. Okay. Now, if you're using a 20-ounce bottle of soda, you're not going to need this much newspaper. All right. So the bigger the bottle of soda, the more newspaper you're going to need, which is totally fine. Just you may run out. I might run out too. So this is steps 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So I have my rings around, and then I built up from there. And then I stopped putting newspaper on to where the level of the soda is in the bottle. Okay. Feel free to add more newspaper if you want to put it more on the sides. It kind of just depends what you want your volcano to look like towards the end. So right now, that was steps 1, 2, and 3. On Tuesday of next week, we're going to be getting into steps 4 and 5, which is making the strips of paper that go down the volcano, and then also the paper mache. Okay, so for Tuesday, we're going to need more newspaper. We are going to need the water, the flour, and the microwavable bowl or dish. Okay, thank you guys. See you Tuesday.